Tina, you're good?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But the only question
Yeah.
I have, just want to make sure I didn't miss it, where
Oh,
in all six boxes, they should be. I mean,
yeah.
it should be on three per row. But I
You
have
see six, right?
yes,
I
I
can
have all
see
six
by
on.
your code. So what
Okay.
you're missing here is so look at my screen, and then what you want to do is take. Actually, here, let me just lay out. Sometimes confusing. So you want to take all of this and copy and paste it. What you did, you took the boxes only, and you pasted them inside. Remember, the parent is work boxes. You want to take the whole parent
Ah,
and
okay.
duplicate it. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
So, Freddie, same thing with you. I don't know if you can hear me. Um, Jill, how about you? Were you able to do that?
Hello?
See my screen?
Yeah, you're good to go. Freddie, yeah.
Hello?
Freddie, what? Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. If you could just take a look at my Sublime, please.
Yeah, what happened? You were fine last week. Did you delete some boxes?
No, no, I didn't even touch it. Do you see what I have highlighted?
Yeah, you're missing like there should be three boxes. So here, look at mine.
One
So
second.
you see your work boxes. This is the whole work boxes.
Yeah, okay, so right
So
under latest work.
yeah, so you have this one. Then you don't have just copy and really all you have to do is copy and paste the box.
Okay, so right under latest work, I have,
So
if you
first,
just,
okay, so pause because you're missing
okay.
even something from before. So can you highlight a box for me? Show me how you highlight the box. One box. No, so you're highlighting the whole work boxes. The work box is the parent. Can you highlight the box class? The
Uh,
element that has the box class.
so it would be this, no?
That's called work boxes. Which one's called box?
The one under it?
Yeah.
With
So
the image, correct?
yeah, but
Okay.
but you have to highlight the closing one too. The closing tag. Yeah, that's now you're highlighting the box. Yeah. Well, not now, but the whole box.
So right about there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So copy that,
Right.
and then after hit enter, paste it, hit enter, paste another one, and then scroll down and get rid of. You have one there that's empty. Just delete that one.
This one?
Yeah, but delete the closing one too. Yeah, the closing tag and save and refresh your browser. Make sure that you see three columns.
Okay.
Do
We're
you
good.
see three columns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same image, but
Yeah. So now look at my code. So now if you want to do that again,
right.
this is what you have. You have to take all that, copy it, and paste it below, and you'll just get another row. I'm going to delete that though because I already have one.
Okay. So okay. Right there, right?
Mm, okay. No, you're missing something. Right? You're missing something. What about the closing tag for the work boxes? Okay. Yeah. Copy that. Paste that after. Paste it.
Paste.
Yeah. And then save, and then refresh your browser. Okay. So you got it.
All right, we're good. Thank
So
you.
let's pause here, guys. Okay, because I wanna review some things. I could tell by like the way you're, like I said, highlighting or not highlighting or communicating about it that there's some misunderstanding. And maybe I didn't communicate it that clearly. So I just want to take some time just to review that, and I think it'll help you. So first of all, please, please follow like the style guide of how you nest like the code, like how you tab and hit enter, because I'm looking at the code and I'm getting lost because it's not like tabbed right. I can imagine how you feel. You know what I mean? If you look at mine, like, yeah, maybe it's a little close, but maybe I can do like 4 and it'll be a little more, the tab width could be 4, maybe it'll be a little better. But I like to have 2. But you see, if you look at my code, the parent, first of all, every element has an opening tag and closing tag. That's first of all. So you cannot highlight this. You can't say, oh, I'm going to take that. What are you going to do with that? You're going to break your code. Every element has an open tag and close tag. So where's the close tag to this? Right here. Because it's the parent. How do I know it's a parent? I tabbed here. I tabbed here that shows me that there's children to this one. Everything, like, you see, if I draw one straight line straight down, these line up perfectly. If I draw a line straight down to these work boxes, it lines up perfectly, so I can read it. And then when I go up, I know that here's another one. The work is on top of it. So like I said, so first of all, please tab correctly and nest it correctly so that you can see it. That if a child of a parent is make sure it's tabbed. Second of all, again, just to reiterate, every element has an open tag. Some don't. There are some that don't, like an image tag. Like this one, it's rare. Like an image, there's no closing. But a div tag, like most, like an H1, section, header, everything really opens and closes. So if you copy this, you can't do anything with that. I'm just reiterating because I really want to drive it home.
What I see this grayed out next to the closing div tag, that work boxes.
This?
What is that grayed out in?
I put that because I could see that people are not realizing that this closing tag, Joe. Can I ask you a question? This right here, which element is it closing? The element with which class?
That class work boxes.
Right. So while I was discussing and seeing how people are highlighting, I could feel that it weren't clear like where this was connected to. Like, is this connected to the section? And that happens a lot. It gets confusing. So back to your question, what was that? That was a comment. So this the browser doesn't read this. Here's another, I guess, thing to learn, but the syntax is basically like this. Once you put the exclamation mark dash dash, and then you can write whatever you want, and then dash dash, and then you close the I don't know what it's called, caret or something. And you close that, and that's it. That anything inside here is going to be a comment. So some good practice is to know to put this so you know which element this is closing. So in this case, I wrote work boxes, so people can see in my code that this closes this one. But because I'm tabbing and I'm styling my code correctly, even without this, I can tell. Why? Because this is lined up. It's lined up. That's very important. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I really want you guys to do that because you're going to confuse yourself. So please do it that way. It's just like you're doing an essay. There's a format. You can't just write a journal and just write whatever you want. There's a header. You have to tab here. There's paragraphs, or else when someone looks at it, they don't know what they're looking at, right? So just please follow those guidelines. Okay, cool. Alrighty. All right, guys, you ready to rock and roll? All right.
Yes.
Okay, let's move forward. We really got to get through as much as we can. We got this class and next week, so let's try to just move as swift as we can and get this going. I want to take off some of the borders for myself. I mean, I'm just gonna leave it, but it looks really ugly with the red borders. But it's good to see. I'm just gonna leave it so you can see, where the sections are. Okay, so let me share this, change my screen, application window. Okay, so I'm sharing the browser, and this is mine so far. So it should be the same. So we're all good with this page. I'm flipping now to the site that we're kind of looking at. And so we got the portfolio and look at the about page. So I'm looking at the structure, and the good thing is that it's very similar. So what's cool is that we accomplished a lot, because a lot of this we're going to be just like duplicating, because in web design, oftentimes, I mean, it depends on the site, but there's usually like a layout, and that layout gets replicated with different content. And then with a website, you may have like 2 or 3 different layouts, depending on if it's a blog or if it's like an about page, whatever the the designer decides. But in this case, like the layout is pretty much the same across these 3 pages. So if you flip back to the portfolio, you can see that it's the same header, there's the same headline, and there's just the button isn't there. So we're going to do that. Okay, so the way to do this, stay with me. I don't want to lose you guys, because it's gonna get a little tricky. But this is kind of how, I mean, there's kind of like no other way to do this except without replicating and wasting a lot of time to recode the same things. We want to like save the index page as the about page. I'm just gonna copy it all over. I'm just gonna duplicate the page and save as, because there's just so much code in here that I'm gonna reuse, which is like the header, the navigation, the top part. So I want to leave all that intact, and then I'm just gonna start like erasing the things that I don't need. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip back to my code thingy, and then application window. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm in my index page, and I'm gonna file, save as, and I'm gonna save it as about.html. Save as. Okay. Okay, cool. So now you should have, if you go into your Sublime sidebar, you should have 2 pages, index and about, and the styles and images. So now I'm going to, like, let's go into your browser and type like where it says how to, just change the index in the address bar and change it to about.html. Just make sure that the page loads properly. Okay, everybody see that? That it's the same page, but it's just about.html?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Kina, good to go?
Yes, I am.
All right, cool. So now I'm looking at both screens here. So let me just, I have so many windows up here, so it's like kind of difficult to do this. But so I'm looking at the, does everyone have the model site, by the way, or you're just following along? Like, do you have the site that we're looking at? Or you're just following along with me?
It's following along your 2 other open things.
Oh, okay.
The 2 open things.
I think it's helpful. I'm gonna just post it. I think it's helpful to leave it open, just as a reference. But I know you're using my screen as a reference is fine, just in case I posted it, because I'm looking at it as a reference guide to continue the development. All right, so basically, in this case, it's the same. We have the same at the top, so we're gonna leave everything the same at the top. So you can see my code, right? And just make sure that after you saved as, it should make sure that about.html is open. So now I want to go through. Let me see what to get rid of. Let's just get rid of. Let's get rid of the work boxes. I'm gonna delete all of the work boxes elements with the elements with the class labeled work boxes. I need those. I'm just gonna tab up. I'll refresh my page. So it looks like. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Okay, good. So, okay. So now we have, everybody with me? There. Okay. So now we have the top header and then something called latest work. We might not need the latest work, but we leave that in there for now. Let's go into the code so again, just to review, header is really everything on the top so far. So this is all my header. We have the navigation, the logo, the links, and then we have the headline. So the headline I want to change to where it says a little about me. We're going to change that. And I'm going to get rid of the button. Get a quote button.
Gonna get rid of it?
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of it. Okay. All right. So now we have the headline, and what we can do is let me just see here. All right. Let's make another. Let's do another. Yeah. Let's do another block. So we have the headline. We could do another class. Again, I'm using the Sublime, so I got a shortcut. I'm just gonna type the class and hit tab, and then it adds the div, like the code. So I'm gonna name my class. Basically, what I'm thinking of now is what to name the circle with the profile picture. So you could just say profile pic. I type dot profile pic tab. If you have the Emmet extension installed in Sublime, it'll create it for you. Just if not, just make sure you type this all out. And it automatically puts my cursor in the middle. It should be okay. I won't need anything in there. Let me make some room here. All right, everybody got that going? So profile pic. So Jill, you don't have that extension installed?
I think I do. I think it's working.
I feel like you have. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Jill, yeah, go ahead, continue. I'm just watching you type. All right, Freddie, good job. Kina, got the profile pic. Good job. All right, Sam, good job. Okay, good to go. I think you have an extra closing tag. I don't know what that's connected with. The next one called div. I don't think that's connected to anything. Should be. Yeah. I think you just delete that. Just save and make sure like nothing broke on your web browser, like everything's intact kind of, and then you'll know that nothing's okay. And yeah, you're good. So what I do is I usually just leave my browser open and just hit Command R every time I make a change. Just keep looking and make sure nothing broke. So that's how I do it. Okay, so now we have the profile pic. So now again, we're going to. So now I'm gonna go into my. I'm actually gonna change. I'm gonna put 2 columns so I can show both. I can have 2. If I go to View, Layout, and go to Columns 2, I can keep 2 things open. I like to see both CSS and HTML. It does look a little confusing because it crunches them all up, but
Right.
I'm trying to see what's from there. It's a little better.
How
Okay.
did you do that?
What is it?
How did you do that?
View, Layout, Columns 2. But if you only do it if you don't find the narrow of the page, all the code being narrow too confusing. Because it ends up wrapping the code, like if it go like this, and that's hard to read. I mean, so, but if you like it, go for it. So
Yeah, that didn't show me HTML on one.
oh, didn't you don't have a view?
No, I do. Should I be in the, I clicked on the HTML tab and then go to view, layout,
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
but it's not showing me the,
Oh, you have to drag the folder, drag the tab in there.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So scroll down to the bottom of your CSS, and okay. So I'm just gonna put you can comment is like with / and asterisk in CSS. I'm just gonna write about page so I know that this is now, and I'm gonna close it with asterisk and / For the sake of like this lesson, like generally I share classes across the whole website, but since we're kind of like in a beginning stage, I'm kind of like I might be writing a lot of duplicate code here, but just for the sake of this, I don't want it to be confusing. So let's just do about page so you can separate the classes for now. But ideally, the best way is to like share a lot of the classes across the pages. But it becomes that gets kind of hard because you have to really like map it out really well, and it's hard to plan that far ahead. But so we have the about page, and so now we have a new I would say profile pic. So now I want to create styles for this profile pic. So I'm going to write dot profile pic. And open the curly brackets. Let's see what we got here. 1 second. So let's try width 100 pixels. I want to kind of bring this. And I will tell you, because it's happening to me, whatever changes you make, it's going to be cached from last week. I'm not going to remember this stuff. So you might have to clear the cache. But just wait and see what happens as you do this. Okay. So if you do this profile pic and you refresh the browser as is, you should see a box in the middle of. Let me share my browser in the middle of the page. And I have the border on everything, so that's why it's showing the border. All right, Jill, good.
Yeah.
Keep
Can I see
going.
the code again? I think I don't think I-
Freddie? Going on, Freddie?
Can I see the code? I don't think I have all the code.
Freddie, you're on Facebook while we're doing this?
No,
What are you doing, man? Get it
I
together
don't
over
see
there.
it.
Omar, do you hear me?
How do you still have your latest work and the button still on the About page? That was like 7 minutes ago.
Like I just refreshed it.
Oh, okay. I'll mess it with you. I think you have to clear the cache.
I was like, what?
Clear the cache. I hear you, Jill. I'll get you in a second.
Oh, I just didn't know if I dropped out.
Freddie, do you use Chrome?
I do.
Okay. It's if you just go to Chrome at the top left and preferences, and then no, sorry, Chrome clear browsing data.
Past hour, okay.
Yeah, just pass hour and just images too. You don't have to do everything, like so you don't have to lose everything.
Okay.
And it'll be fine because it's only the images. Now I think that should work unless you refresh it, unless you didn't change it. Huh.
I'll see it.
About that HTML, then let's look at your code. You must still have that stuff in the code. Open up your About That HTML page. Oh yeah, you still have the stuff in there. Can you open up your index file?
What the hell? I deleted this.
You might have deleted it from the other. I knew this was gonna happen. Did you delete it on the index file?
No.
Open up your index.
No. Those are still there.
No, it isn't. Open up your index.
What?
Is that the index file?
Yeah, this is the index.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, show me the about. Oh, I don't know. Okay, they're the exact same. So
Yeah.
just okay. Go ahead, delete the stuff, and stop checking like Twitter and stuff like that while we're doing this stuff.
I'm not.
All right.
So I'm deleting all this, right? All the boxes
All right. Yeah. So just get rid of.
up to here.
Yeah.
Save.
Save.
And then go back
I
to
don't
this.
understand, but I don't see your button there. I don't see the. I feel like there's a mismatch between your browser and the code.
And then here's my CSS.
Okay, so refresh the about page. I don't know. I feel like something's wrong.
There it is.
Good. Cool. All right, perfect. Jill,
I'm struggling today.
come on, Freddie, get it together, man.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, brother. I'm tired. I need you guys to be like on with me.
To meet you halfway.
Yeah. No, you're doing a good job. Okay. So profile pic, and I just have to put myself in the shoes of the beginning and remember like what is confusing to everyone, so I can just pause if you need me to pause.
Nah, we're good.
Okay, so profile pic. Okay, alrighty. Got that going.
Yeah, can I see the code? Because I don't think I have it all.
My code.
Yeah,
Okay, but you already got it going, right?
I don't know if I have everything.
It looks like it from your browser.
Everything?
Yeah, it's the index. About that, yeah, right there.
I
That's,
only have the width and height.
All box.
oh, okay, Keena. I thought I saw you had it. All right, Jill. What I see.
You have width and height. Did you add it?
I'm a little bit confused because, Jill, I see two different browsers like in your screen.
Yes.
So which one is the one behind it?
That's the one you're showing that's yours.
Oh, that's my screen. Oh my God. Oh, I was thinking you're good the whole time. Here, I think it's better if you can just share like one application window. It'll be less confusing for me. So Keena, you too. That's my screen. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. If you could just share your code for now. Just share the code. I'll be able to know what's happening. Okay, cool. Jill, I see yours. Keena, please share your code. Okay, so profile pic. Um, Jill, can you scroll up a little bit? Keep going. Keep going. Okay, okay, stop. Scroll down a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, scroll down one next. Okay. Scroll down back to the end of where you were. And I think that you just need to clear cache. Can you clear the cache in your browser? Make sure you're opening. Do you see it, the box at all?
No, I'm not sure what to do it because I think, don't you have something, you've got the profile pic with height and that's
I
it?
do. I do have something else, but it doesn't. It's not going to stop it from showing.
Oh, okay.
You could add that margin. The margin is just the margins, but as long as the width and height is there, it should be good.
You see it?
Can you scroll? Your HTML? Can you scroll up a little bit? Because I can't see the profile.
It's fine. I have that little box now. It's just way over to the left.
Oh, you do see it now.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't change anything. What happened?
I just refreshed. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Kina, where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay, do you see the box?
Yes, but mine is not as small as yours.
Small.
It's extending across the entire page.
No, that's not right. Can I see your HTML? Okay, I think it's case sensitive. Change your profile pic to P. You have a capital P. And see what happens if you make it lowercase, if that helps. Save, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't think it's case sensitive, but. Yeah.
I just put in margin 20 pic auto and now it's centered.
Cool.
Okay, yes, now I have it. It's just pushed over to the left, so I
Okay.
just need to add the margin.
All right, so maybe you learned the lesson. There's a lot of languages in general that are case sensitive. I mean, I didn't think CSS is case sensitive, but just keep that in mind. Make sure that you just keep the same pace when you transfer over to HTML. All right, so margin 0 auto with the height. So now, so everyone can see the box that I see. Am I sharing my code or am I sharing? Oh, okay. Let me go back to my code. Are you guys having fun? Or is this frustrating?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Joe came right on board with that one. Okay.
For some reason, today is frustrating.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm really trying. I'm really. I think I'm pushing you guys. I think this was a bit ambitious, but it's okay. I think you guys are doing good though. But you know what? Like honestly, I feel like personally, this is how people learn. I don't know any other way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you can't just learn by like keep looking at the code, like like look at the properties. You have to try to do something with it and see the mistakes. So it's okay. The mistakes is gonna help you learn. Every time I keep, don't feel like I may like be very clarifying, but I really want to clarify because when I do and you see the mistake, you'll remember it and you'll know.
You want to do it again? Yeah.
Clarify, because just hearing something once doesn't mean you learned it. You know,
Yeah.
you have to kind of reinforce it.
Well, I'm gonna keep repeating it. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna keep repeating it as much as I can. Okay? Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Right. All right, awesome. So now, let me see my code. What can you see? Yeah. All right, so profile pic, and so let me just scroll up. I want to see if I have the background stuff. I'm just gonna repeat it again. But generally, like if you scroll up, a lot of this it's the same stuff, and that's okay. Let's just do it again. I'm gonna scroll down, and when you're gonna put a background image again, we don't have one. For now, we could, either we can look for one or make the background color white or whatever for now. But let's first just get the background color. Let's give something for now. Background color, a background dash color. And then this will be white, the hashtag, and then the 3 Fs.
See if that worked. Great.
Okay. And then what you want to do is to make it a circle, you use border radius.
Border radius.
Border dash radius, like that. And you just put your colon, and it automatically makes a semicolon. And the border radius, let me show you. Put 5 pixels, 5 px, and then refresh your browser and see what it does. Change it to 30. Refresh your browser, see what it does.
Let's try 50.
So we can keep going with that. Then put 100 and see what it does.
And you get a circle.
Yeah. So the border radius is basically the let me share my code again. Border radius is just the corners. There's a top, right, bottom, and left, and you could actually like. I'm gonna just comment this out. So Sublime has this feature. If I just put my cursor on the line, I hit Command / it comments and uncomments. I put the cursor on the line, hit Command /
Can't see your code?
You cannot see my code?
No.
Oh, let me try it again. Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay. So if you put your line on your cursor on any line and you hit Command and / it's going to automatically comment out the line. Does everyone see that?
Yes, yes.
That's very helpful because sometimes you don't want to delete the line, but you want to see if that line is causing any problems, or you want to duplicate the line, or you just want to try something else. So I'm going to highlight that, and there's actually a feature. Don't worry about this stuff right now. Just watch me. There's some commands like I can duplicate the line. It's like Shift Command D. You could try it. Shift Command D on Mac. And it just duplicates the line. It's very helpful. I can just add as many as I want without retyping it. I'm gonna just duplicate the line, comment out the one on top, so I can play with this, and I can still leave the top one intact without messing with it. That's a good tactic, so you don't mess up your code. as you're trying stuff. If you have something that works and you like and you know it works, I wouldn't get rid of it, because like once you get rid of it, you're like, oh god, how do I do that again? And so it's like you just leave it and then you play. So this border radius, is it border radius left? Yeah, like border radius. There's different. Shoot. Check your border radius. Just gonna find the exact properties for this. So I was just looking for the exact syntax. I always use like border radius. Generally solves the problem, because basically it's like, remember how I said it has the 4 values? So take away the left thingy that I added. It has like 4 values, and you can sort of play with that.
Mhm.
Like try to put like 10px and 10px and see what it does. No, that's not it. Shoot. That's wrong. That's wrong. So that will do the whole thing. So I'm just going to do another one. Let me delete this line. And so you have top and bottom, right? And then you have left and right. So if you want to only do specific, you can look this up like later on, W3 Schools, all this stuff. But just for fun, like border top dash left comes up. I just hit enter because it kind of came up. It helps me remember the property. And if you just do that as 10px and then refresh the page, then you see that it just did like that corner. If you want to style stuff in that way or something like that. This is just like a fun like little thing. The border radius is gonna do it to all the corners. So if you generally, like a lot of times people use it for buttons, like click buttons on the web. You can, if you want to do rounded corners. Although it seems like the box buttons in applications have been the more popular thing. I think like I haven't seen border radius in a lot of places recently, but it's good to. It all depends on your style. So border radius. I'm just gonna delete this, just showing you that there's different corners. So border top left, you have top right, or you have the bottom right, whatever. If you want to only target, that's very rare. It's just kind of stylistic. So I'm gonna delete that. Go back to my border radius, 100 pixels. Now, so it's basically rounding all the corners as large as we made the box. So it's making it a perfect circle. But another trick is, if you don't like know the height, if you just put 50%, it'll generally make it rounded.
Yeah.
But since we know, like I said, it could be 100 pixels, it's gonna round it because basically it's matching the height and the width and just rounding itself. So you got that. So that's good to go for the profile pic. Let me go back to the page. So now it's the same concept. For the background image, we can basically, so we're gonna do background dash image. Then you hit the colon, and then URL. You can see as you type, Sublime should be giving you like pop-ups. So the name of the property is background image. The value is URL with parentheses. In the parentheses, you put 2 single quotes. But I think Sublime does it for you automatically. And this is where you type the path to the image. We don't have one. I'm just gonna assume I have like something called profile.jpg. I'm just gonna. So if we had an image there, it should use that. I don't know if you want to find something. I didn't want us to waste too much time on that, but I think we can come back to this. I wanted to finish the page. Is that okay?
Yeah.
let's continue. But just copy the code for now. What we're doing is background image, URL. We just have to find the image and place it in the images folder. Make sure it's in profile.jpg and it'll show. Then there's background. This is important. Background dash size. And then you can use cover, and it tries to fill the photo as big as the profile, as big as the element is. So this is by 100. So, okay. So that'll generally like kind of do it. There's some extra properties we can add, but it's not super important right now, especially if you're gonna add cover. It's gonna basically fill it up. So all you need is the image and tell it to fill up. Okay, so let's move on. So let me refresh. So you'll still see the white. We just got to fill in that image with the background face or whatever we have. And now we can basically just, I mean, honestly, like we can keep it the way it is. We can, let me see. We already have this section called latest work. And, you know, we can change this to like about us, or we can, then we could do, you guys know about the P tag. So P tag is like, will be, if you just type P tab, generally that refers to paragraph of text. So I'm going to copy and paste something that I see here from, wow, this is like a weird copy. I was actually reading this. It's kind of bananas, but I'll just copy and paste it here and save it and refresh. So I don't know who wrote that, but I guess it's some kind of story. So you kind of have the information there, and then so then what we can do is, if we go back to, let me just take a peek at it real quick before I keep going. Kina, how are you doing? Jill and Kina. Oh, Kina, now I can.
I'm okay.
All right, your screens are black for me for some reason. So, oh, Kina,
I'm
yours.
sharing Sublime.
Yeah, yours is black. And Jill, your screen is black for me. So Kina, how are you doing with your HTML? Have you put in some text there? You can write whatever you want, actually. I mean, you just put whatever you want. And how's your HTML file?
That's where I'm working on that now. I'm gonna do it to that one.
Wait, your profile pic. Oh, you're good. Yeah, okay. I can't see the rest of it. Okay. You scroll down a little bit, right? So you can. Yeah. Scroll down a little more. Yeah, and then P and then tab, and then you can start typing whatever you want inside. And then Jill, after the H1, not inside, but outside of those elements. No. Yeah. Right. And what I'm going to do is, to move on, I'm going to scroll as they're typing. I'm going to scroll up, and obviously this text is black. Now, remember, this class is sharing the same class as an index. So whatever we do here is going to affect the other one. But because I know that on the other page, let me actually go back. It should be, it's white anyway, and there's no text. I want to make the P tag white here. And I know that over there I don't have a P tag anyway, so it's fine. I want to go back up to my section.work, and I want to add that the color to be white.
Section.work.
Yeah, go scroll up to the class called section.work. That's affecting, like I said, the section element, but the class of .work. CSS is so awesome. So Freddie, you're in the section.work.workboxes. Don't you see that?
I do. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
What did you just? Can I see the end of your?
So you're good, Jill, but you just have like a broken. Look at your P tag at the end. You see some like little extra little stuff. Just delete that there. Yeah.
Anything more to the styles though?
Yeah, you're gonna scroll up to the section.work class. Scroll up. You'll find it somewhere. We worked on it. Yeah, they're right there. There you are. And then color. And then so put your cursor at the end. Okay, pause for a second. So put your cursor. What's the name of the last property, Joe, in that class? Can you find that?
Is
You know what the name of the last property is?
padding?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it ends with a semicolon, right? Like remember, every line in CSS, as you can see, ends with. So put the cursor outside of the semicolon, hit enter, and you want to make it. Don't highlight, just hit enter now. You want to keep them listed there. Now you want to add a new property called color. Yeah, colon. Yeah, good job. Colon, and then the hashtag or the pound tag. I don't know what they call it. We call it a hashtag, I guess, nowadays. And then just FFF. And save. And now that'll make it white. So just to reiterate, guys, for CSS, you know, this is not like jumbled stuff. Like this is all separate lines. Every single line is a property with a value. Property with a value. The line ends with a semicolon. And you add the next property underneath. And how does the computer know that this property is for section.work? Because it's inside open curly brackets and closed curly brackets. So it knows that's in there. All right, good to go, good to go. Jill, how you doing? David, refresh. Keenan, how you doing with yours? Yeah, I can't see your browsers. That's why I'm asking. Like,
I never know to put that section dot word.
you never.
What did that change? That changed the code of what?
Okay. Okay. Alrighty, guys, ready to rock? Okay, Jill, good to go?
No, did you hear that section dot work where I just put in the FFF color?
Uh-huh.
What did that change? I didn't see
It
it.
should have made the text white.
Okay.
Did
So
it-
that goes with the about us text and the Laura and the
Well, the about us text, is it white for you?
yes.
You're just curious, how is it white?
Well, no, I'm just saying like
What?
I would never know that section dot work corresponded with that about us text.
Well, okay. You didn't know that section.work would correspond with that. Okay, so let's go back.
Because then there below that is section dot work boxes and section dot work boxes dot bot. So
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with it. Like, this I could delete. It doesn't matter. I mean, don't delete it. But I'm just saying, this has nothing to do with. This class is called work boxes. That class is not connected with this element. So this has nothing to do with it.
okay, so it's class work section work. Okay.
Right. So again, we're gonna do. I'll repeat. Just reminder. So, how do you know? So first of all, how do you make the class? How do you make the styles? You need to make a property name. Sorry, a class name. I'm just create some space here. So the way you tell CSS to name a class is with dots, whatever I want. IFB. I'm just gonna name it whatever I want. And then I need to give it properties. And the way you tell the CSS that you want to give it properties and where it belongs, so it belongs to that class. You open the curly bracket. Sublime automatically closes the the end one, and then you hit enter. Now I have the structure. I could start adding properties to IFB. Or whatever I want to name it, my class, whatever I want to call it. Let's make it a little nicer. So if you put color, let's say FF, like I said, there's a gazillion properties, right? So like it doesn't really matter here. There's a lot of properties, but these are the basics: the color, background color, padding, blah blah. And then every line is a new property with a value.
Right.
So right now I made this class. It's not connected to anything, right?
Right, you need a section called My Class.
Well, forget the section even, like the basic foundation first. This whole section dot is a little advanced. It's an intermediate. It's the next step. The bare basics is the dot class. You can connect that to anything you want as long as the element, the HTML element, you give it, you name it with this class, it'll be associated with it. Okay.
Okay. So in other words, you see how you have class equals work?
Class equals work.
Class
Yeah.
Right now-
equals My
Yeah.
Yeah. So
is My
instead of class, it would be dot my class.
If I wanted to bring this into there,
Yeah.
but just
That would affect that class only.
yeah, and then this wouldn't be here because I used my class.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm just saying if you were to rename it.
But I'm gonna share my screen for a second. Let me just keep going a little bit here with you guys and keep interrupting. Can you see my whole screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So so watch what happens. I just made a class called my class. It's not connected to anything right now.
Yeah.
So there's a property called display and none. It means display, don't display it. Because display, there's block. We went over that before. It stacks itself. And block is the default value for display, but I'm gonna say there's a value called none. It means don't show it. So watch what happens. I'm gonna take this class, Jill, watch what happens when I take this class. I'm gonna get rid of work. I'm gonna put my class in here instead. It has this value. I'm gonna go back to my page. I'm gonna refresh. And this block that was below is gone. Because I gave it that class. Actually, let's do it to the profile pic so it's more obvious. I'm gonna refresh. My battles is there. I'm going to take away the profile pic, give it my class. Now refresh, and it's gone.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
yeah. So the name of the class, once it's associated with an element, it's going to take on those properties. So let's go. Now, also, FYI, you can add multiple classes. So if I even leave profile pic as is, and I give it a my class with display none, I refresh, it's still gone. Because you're just adding multiple properties with different classes. So now this profile pic takes on a profile pic stuff, which is down below here, and this one called my class. I love that you can do that, but just an FYI. So let me get rid of this my class thing, this fake thing that I just did. I just want to show you that's the bare bones of creating CSS styles. Now, why is this section dot work? It looks a little confusing. You don't need section. I can delete this. Look what happens. I'm going to delete section. I'll refresh. Everything's back in track. Section, because this section is a container, is an HTML element with the class work. I do not need to put section dot. What we were saying before was just for like readability purposes and like this is a little advanced in the sense of structuring the code. Maybe I got ahead of myself with this, but the idea behind like using section.work is saying that make sure that the dot work is within a section element, so that I remember that this is connected with these sections. It's just kind of like semantics, like usability thing, readability, like of the code. But But if I get rid of, see what happens if I get rid of this and I make a class called .work, that can work anywhere on any element. I can put it anywhere and it'll be connected. But I don't want to confuse myself. I want to remember that I created these sections and I'm making styles only for that section. So when you put the name of the HTML element with dots, it's saying like this could also be header. Like I can put this, say, in the header one. Like here, watch what happens. Let's say header. Oops. Go back here. Header.work. I'm gonna refresh. This styles got broken. Why? Because this is saying only, this is the class when it's only associated with this HTML element. But if I get rid of this again, I'm gonna refresh. It all works because now it's only using .work. So the idea behind this is just that we are. I hope I didn't. Did I confuse you guys? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Ready? How you feel?
I mean, a bit. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
Okay, I confused you. Okay, so okay,
So
let's.
you don't need the section.
You
really.
don't need the section. No,
The dot whatever would work perfectly.
it'll work perfectly. And
Okay.
maybe I should have done that so it didn't confuse you guys. But why did I use section? Let's try to reiterate. Why did I use section?
Well, just so they match up and it's a way to follow along.
Yeah, just so that I know that I only want to use this in this section. I don't want to use .work all across the website. I mean, well, I can use it as long as it's the section. Now, so you don't get confused. Okay, basically, this section .work looks confusing. It's very simple. All it is the element, the name of the element, and the class. So saying the name of the element dot the class. It's not confusing. Like, so it could be H1. It could be like H1. And if I put the .work class here, I mean, I don't want to give it those styles, but so see that all this first thing in red is. You don't have to work this way. You don't need to put that. If you can follow along with your code and you never put any of these, but you'll see how confusing it gets.
Yeah.
When you start going across the whole website, now you're like .work, and you're like, where's .work? Like, which page is that in? You're gonna be looking at all this and saying, I don't remember which page that is. So when you start doing things like this, you know, oh, I remember that section I created. That's part of that section. Maybe that helps a little bit. Okay. So, okay. Now, what happens if I make a space? Now, this is important because the right way, remember we said about targeting the elements, targeting, like if you look up here, you see header. With a space now this is not saying, now this is different because there's a space. This is not header dot, right? This is header space. This is parent, child, child relationship. This is saying header and go down to the child that has a class called headline. So none of this has a class called headline. Boom, there's the child. If you line it up here, headline. Then go into the next child called H1. So these spaces are when you're going parent, child, like that. This is different than when you put header dot and you put it right next to each other. In the end, the point of all this is that you're creating styles with these properties. You need to tell the HTML which element you're going to give that to. And you use these names. How I'm doing it and all these different ways, it could be all up to you. Like when you start doing it yourself, you can do however you want. The key is that you need a class name. That's the key. You just need one class. It needs to be connected somehow. That's the main thing. And FYI, let's go back. Also, you don't even need to do this parent thing that I did. See all this? I don't think I reviewed this, but the parent, child, blah, blah, blah. You don't need all. If I just go, if I delete all this, I just say A. I'm just saying any A element, any A link. Give it that. I just don't want to do that because I don't want it to be across the board. I don't want these styles to, unless you do want them to go across the board. Does that make sense? So I'm telling it specifically only the A tag that is nested all in this hierarchy. I don't want to do across. But there are some cases where you might say, I know across the board, like A tag, I don't want to give it, an underline, like text decoration, none. So this means like any link will never have an underline because it's saying all A link, But you want to avoid that, I guess, in the beginning because you might get confused. I don't know. I don't know which is better for the beginner, to be honest.
Keep it that one way, you put it in a section, just so we all see and we all do it for one way.
Okay. Is that helpful? Guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping it all the same is great.
Okay. So, okay, cool. All right. So, I mean, honestly, this page is ready to go. But what we want to do, let's do something like the line height. I don't know. I can't remember if I showed the line height last time. Let's go to section.work. So I'm going to scroll up. Can you see my code?
Yes.
Yes.
So that means anywhere on the website that is a section HTML element and that has the class.work, this will affect it. And it's good because I'm just going to leave that. So what we can do now is see the way it's like the lines are like very tight. You can do line height. And when you put, so this is saying the height of the line, of each individual line. So let's say 100%, we're going to refresh, and nothing really will change much because it's just saying make sure that each line height is 100% like of the font, of the height of the font, of how it is. And you refresh. Now, if you change to say 150 and you refresh, you'll see more breathing room in between the lines. It's very nice to do. If you go 200%, it'll be like much more. So styled. And that's readability. That's important because like you'll see websites like Medium that do blogs. I don't know if you ever heard of medium.com. Like usually like the line height and typography and stuff like that is very important. There's also something called, another important one is called letter spacing. So let's try the letter spacing. That's the spacing in between. I think in Photoshop it's called tracking, Jill. This is letter spacing, just tracking, yeah. Which is basically saying like, say you refresh and look what happened, like, yikes, it give it like a, you can see what happened there. You ever see what's happening with the letter spacing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously that's kind of, maybe that 3 pixels is ridiculous. When you have different fonts, and if you do -1, you'll also see it squished together. So every font, you might, this is helpful because every font, sometimes it doesn't look good here, but sometimes it looks good. Like sometimes it just feels right. So I could go back to 0 and I'll just make it a default. Kind of like this spacing, actually, the 200%. And if you want to add font size, you do that.
What about the font in general?
Oh, right. We didn't go over that yet. We have to go. That's something else. So font size, that'll change. 30 pixels is huge. Okay.
Yeah, it is too big.
So okay, so keep playing with that. Now I'm being a little lazy here. Like if you look at this, the font size is of the dot work. Oh wait, did I make HTML? Oh, that should be there. So the font size, when you put in dot work, let me ask you a question. Should it affect the H1 tag and the P tag? Or should it not?
When you did what?
When we do what we just did now, the font size under dot work, the style for dot work.
Did it affect what?
What is it?
What is your question? Did that affect what?
Should the font size affect the H1 and the P tag?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say yes.
The about us and the other text.
Yes.
Well,
No.
not in the right section. You need to repeat that in the other sections, right?
I'm sorry, Joe. I couldn't hear you.
You need to repeat it in the other sections for that to take effect, right?
No, just like Freddie said, it should affect it because the style is for the dot work, and everything under the dot work, any child is always going to get affected by the parent. So the dot work is saying anything up in here, anything in the middle of all this stuff, even if I just go like this, you know, and refresh, you know, like that's going to all get affected. Doesn't matter. But, so this is a little lazy, but the reason why it isn't being affected in this case is because if you scroll down, I have the H1 tag specified as 30 pixels underneath. We did that in the last page. So whatever, you know, code always executes from the top to the bottom like that. So since you know, it just rewrites itself. Or you can do, now here's to the question, and going back to what we were asking before, we can get really specific and go, if we find that that gets confusing, we can say, I mean, I don't mind that it's shared across. Like, we don't have to get that specific, but if we want to, we can go section.work, then space, because you want to travel to the child, P. And then we could give it these properties here. And then this will say, just give the font size only to the P tag. That's a child of this class. Like work, P.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that. I mean, but I was just lazy, you know, I didn't want to keep confusing, like, again, you know, just getting with that and just saying, hey, whatever's in there, I know already that I don't have anything else in there. You know, as you're quoting, you know, like, what's there and what's not, so you don't have to worry. But when you start having a bunch of things in there, it can get confusing. Like, if you have another piece of, like, a block of text and you don't want that to get affected, and then you need to start to specify. But in this case, I already specified H1 to be 30 pixels below, so I'm just gonna say, all the fonts and you know, everything just make it 20 pixels. So whatever you want to do there.
Will you put a photo in that round circle?
Yeah, let's go back to that. And also, if you want to add padding bottom, if you want to create some padding, you know, you're gonna create more empty space. Remember I said padding is padding around, and then you could also do 4 variables, top, right, bottom, left. But I know I only want to do, like, say for the padding right now, padding bottom. I just want to add, like, and then when you refresh, it doesn't, like, go to the edge, you know, there's some scrolling room, you know, so that the text doesn't, like, sit at the bottom of the page, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's go back to the background image and scroll down. Let me see. Good to go. Everything's working here. Alrighty. Okay, so now let's scroll down and let's go back to the profile pic. So go ahead and grab the image if you want. Go find any profile pic that you have. I think I have one on my computer.
I already tried to start it, and I don't think I did it right.
Okay, let's look at your code.
I have a thing called flower JPEG under my images.
Okay. Can you let me see your sidebar of your Sublime,
This in here.
as I can't see the sidebar where your files are. Can I see the sidebar?
I don't know if you mean the sidebar.
Go to view and I think sidebar. View, sidebar, and show it.
That is showing. This is,
Oh, maybe it hides it. I don't know why I can't see it.
I mean, it looks like there's a very tiny sidebar.
Oh, there it is. Okay, can you? Oh, I can't. It's hard to see. I can't see the. Can you? Your images. Are you sure the flower.jpg is in the images folder? Oh,
Yeah.
it's there.
See it? Very
Look at
good.
you. It looks really fancy. It worked. Right?
No, mine didn't work.
Who's screen? Oh, Sam. I'm looking at Sam's. Oh, sorry. This Google Hangout thing. I keep switching and I get confused. Freddie, why don't you keep going? Try to do yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a profile pic.
Yeah, keep rocking and rolling. Jill, the problem is that I can't see your folder. I need to make sure that the flower is in the images folder.
This right here. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, I think I'm only sharing my code, so I should share my whole screen now.
yeah, share your whole screen. Let's kind of like look through a little bit. And then like, can you open up your,
Here's the my folder, and there's where flower is and the images.
can you minimize, this is not working. As I see like my screen.
Oh, you can't see my screen? It says on screen sharing. I'll try it again.
It's not working. Just Jill, can you just check that the flower.jpg is in your images folder?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm sharing my desktop now. It started.
It shouldn't be in a desktop. It should be in a folder. That's
I
it.
know I'm trying to share it so you can see my whole desktop, so you can see everything.
Okay. Freddie, how are you doing with yours?
Desktop.
Just trying to drag this picture in
Okay.
images, and then just copy.
Are you able to see my desktop?
No, Jill, it got really messed up. All I see is like green now. Don't share the screen. I don't know. Just go back. Yeah. Um. Okay, I can see that it's in there, but I don't know. It's labeled class 5. I mean, is that what you named your master folder? Can you double click the? Can you open up? Can you right click the about.html and open with and go ahead, open it up and whatever.
Yeah, it's open.
Mm-hmm. Can you refresh the page? Okay. Let's go through here. Okay. Let me follow along and let me get mine and let me kind of just get into the flow of what you guys are doing. Maybe there's a property we need to add. Let me just find my thing. I'm gonna do it also with you guys.
So it's images / and then the name, right?
Oh, hey guys, can you hear me? Sorry, I was mute for a little. My kids are making a little noise. Um, just make sure that your what I was saying was I forgot that I was on mute and I was talking the whole time. The styles.css, this path is coming from the styles.css file, right? And if you look at the sidebar, the styles.css is inside the CSS folder. So we need to do this dot 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 and slash. It's like you're traveling outside outside of that folder into this images folder. Otherwise, it thinks that it's inside that folder, the CSS folder.
We do that for the other index.
.. It's 2 dots, right?
Yeah,
That did it. It worked.
yeah,
Or
yeah. And get rid of the background color FFF because it's overriding the image. Because we left that temporarily. Kia, you see yours? Yeah, I see yours.
Yes.
Cool. All right, awesome. So,
yeah, mine
all right. I mean, I think this page is good now. I mean, this is pretty much the page. Let's now. What you want to do? Now I'm gonna just to kind of finalize the about us page. I'm gonna scroll up, and I'm going to go into the links. Oh, this is called portfolio. Just gonna make the portfolio be index.html, about.html. So I'm just giving this the links, and I also named this contact. Probably will do that next week. So I'm gonna open up both my index and about, and I want to link the navigation properly. So on my index, I'm gonna write index.html, about, and the href attribute, by the way.
So
So now we can switch between. Now if I switch portfolio, I click about, I see the about, I can switch back to portfolio, I can keep switching, and now we linked up the navigation.
Yeah, that's not working.
Okay, let's check it out.
Or is the photo?
Okay, it should be working. Just refresh and make sure you do it to the about.html and the index.html file.
Get that contact.
And I would use. Are you using Chrome or Safari?
Yeah, okay, now
It should be fine. It doesn't matter. I just feel like Safari seems to hold on to the cache much longer. Freddie, how are you doing with yours?
I got the links right. I just couldn't get my profile pic.
Oh, let's go back. You still didn't get the profile? Let's check it out. Go back.
either. Mine is not working either.
So you see
Yeah, your
the
code.
background image?
Your code looks good. I think it must
So
be missing somewhere.
It's I don't have a lot of folders, but
Mm,
it's in here. You see it?
mhm.
So I added the dot thinking that would work.
Freddie, you're missing the / before images.
And after, wait, hold on. Are you looking at my code now?
Oh, I think that was somebody else's screen.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm getting okay. Freddie, I don't know why it's switching between people. I don't know who's I'm looking at now. Freddie.
Freddie, is yours? You have your profile pic.png?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to have that / in front of images.
Oh.
After the dot.
And then the force. Thank you, Keenan. Look at that. Oh man, I'm
So like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you see that? Oh my God, this is cool. So you guys can see when I switch over to someone else's thing.
You know,
Yeah.
I clicked on Freddie's name too.
Yeah, you just click and you see what everyone else is doing.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
So let's see if that worked. Cool. It's just not center, but I can fix that.
Yeah, you can use the background position center. I have it there too. You want to use that. And you could also play with it. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. You might have to change, like there's things you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is not working.
Thank you, Tina.
You're welcome.
All right, Joe, let's check you out. Keen, I'm going to need your help with this one. I think I'm just like, I'm so tired of like him. I can't see. It's so hard to see the screen, like these little things. But Keen looks good. I don't know what the issue is.
And now, since we did that other stuff on the about HTML, I can't, if you see this, I can't click from portfolio to my about page.
Can you open up well, you're on the index page, so let's go to the about page, which is the one that we're trying to.
Click to that, like you said, you'd now be able to click.
Okay, don't click. Just open up the about page somehow. Like change it in the address bar. Yeah, do it that way. There it is. Jill, you're killing me. Okay,
Well, it's like,
it worked.
yeah, but it won't switch between portfolio.
Okay, so let's deal with that. Okay, so So let's go back into your code. Let's look at the index.html and the about.html. Okay, can you open up? Okay, go back to the about.html in the browser. And okay, the about one. Okay. Refresh. And then when you click, I can't see the screen, but click the portfolio. Nothing's happening.
No, nothing. Now it goes to portfolio, but it won't go back to about.
No, because you didn't do it in the index file. So now you have to open it up in the index file. It did go to the index. But now you have to open up your index file and make the same changes that you just made.
Okay, so it's only supposed to go from about.
It did work, right?
You're only supposed to be able to switch between about.
Right, but now you switched, but now you're on the index file, but you didn't make that change in the code on the index.html page. You have to do it to both. You have to do it to any. So open up your index.html in Sublime. Oh, you should just keep the sidebar open because the sidebar has access to the files instead of doing it from the folder.
I have this. I don't know what you mean because I have this between. I have the about and I have the HTML and the CSS open. And these sidebars are extremely tiny on the side, and I can't do anything without making them bigger.
Okay, Jill. You open up the index.html page.
In the browser, in the
No, in your Sublime in actual code. Okay. So now you want to make the same changes in the href attribute as you did with about.html.
okay,
So you want to name it to index.html and then about.html.
looking for the right spot. So right here it would be portfolio.html. Am I in the right spot here?
Why don't you switch back to your about.html and look at the code. You can see, just switch. Okay, because you did it already. Yeah, same thing.
Index, HTML, portfolio, okay.
Yep. Just continue the rest, yeah. So I think you should be good if you refresh.
Okay, now it's
Look at you.
now it's-
Nice. Perfect.
okay, good.
All right, let's go back. Okay. All right, so we have one other page. We'll have to get to that next week. Should be the same. It's going to be very similar. I'm going to do the contact form, and I'll show you how to do that. Uh, okay. All right, guys. Yeah, I think we'll have to stop here. There was a couple of things I wanted to do, but so it's getting a little late. All right, so let's pause here, and next week we have to finalize with this contact page, and I think that's all we can get to, and then we'll go from there. I don't know if we want to do another kind of session or something to do the mobile responsive, or I'm gonna try to get to as much as we can get to, whatever we can do next week. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
So, how do you guys feel? I'm really tired today. I had a rough day, so I'm a little burnt out. But I hope you guys are feeling okay, and I hope this was a good session for you guys. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely liked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Can I ask you, like, do you from the previous sessions, like, what has anything clicked or changed? So, from like, I hate you now that you're like now we're in the fifth session. Seeing all the mistakes and kind of seeing the back and forth and repeating things. Has anything clicked at all? Where do you see some progression on your side?
HTML.
In what sense?
Just like the containers and the lists, the dividers,
Mm-hmm.
navigation intersection. I think it's more of I mean, this is me personally again.
Yeah.
Getting the CSS to like really go back and forth and work with the HTML.
Yeah.
Like the dot work and stuff that we were doing before.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just gonna come over time.
Is it that
Practicing.
you mean not knowing what styles you need to control the HTML, or you mean just knowing like how to structure the CSS in the first place, kind of?
Yeah, how to structure it.
Okay. All right. Kina, how about you?
I think well, a combination of both with HTML and CSS, not realizing how much control CSS has with the HTML.
Yeah.
That's what's really starting to amaze me.
Yeah. The HTML really doesn't do anything except give it like the blocks.
Yeah, I was gonna say the basics.
Yeah. Yeah, it can't be. You can't do anything with it except with the CSS. Jill, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to, I guess it's just, like, HTML is not really intuitive. You just have to know, like, all the tags and everything and how everything lines up. And it can be a little confusing, but I'm seeing how each thing kind of lines up with the CSS that affects it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Freddie, were you gonna say something?
No.
As you progress, you'll realize actually like just how much control you actually have over everything, and that everything could be controlled with the CSS. It's just a matter of like knowing style, the properties, and things like that, and the more you do it, you'll know how to lay it out. And I think the reason why I keep these red borders and it looks really ugly, and once we take these red borders off, I mean, if we just like take them off, I think it'll look a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's good to have them on, though, because then you see what each piece is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but you'll see that it actually looks like a decent web page when you take off the red borders. But it's important just to see. So I think just knowing that like in HTML, like everything is like a block. You know, it's not like in Photoshop where you can like drag and drop and move things around. Everything is just sits like in the top left corner, just
Yeah.
drops and stacks, and then you just have to tell us you have to create these sort of blocks and like these, center it and give it padding and margin, you know, to move it around. But you're doing a good job. I mean, you guys overall are doing a good job. I mean, it's not easy, but I think you guys are doing good. I'm happy that everyone actually has the page the way it's supposed to look so far. And so, like I said, I hope we can progress as much as we can next week. I want to finish the contact page and at least end on that, at least just to complete it,
Yeah, sounds good.
right?
Yep.
So again, guys, I'm in the Slack group, or if you feel free, I know everyone's probably busy at work too. And by the way, Freddie, if you don't mind me mentioning, Freddie, like, why don't you talk about, like, you texted me?
Oh yeah. So I got a 2-day internship. So I'm working with HTML and CSS, obviously with a senior developer kind of guiding me. So I'm getting a lot of practice there, and it's fun. It gets frustrating, but it feels good when you refresh and it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Cool. That's
so yeah, that's
Isn't
that's
that
what I'm
cool?
up to.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So did you already start?
Yeah. It's my I've been on my second week now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
What
it's
have you-
fun. It's good.
Have you been playing there and at work at all, doing anything?
Yeah. The first week we did a little bit of practice, and then the second week we're starting up an email campaign. So we're doing like backlinks
Oh yeah.
and working with like Mailchimp.
Yeah.
So that's also fun. It's good to know.
Yeah, and you can do, I think, some drag and drop stuff in like some of those
Yeah.
programs.
But they also have a code section where I
Yeah.
try to actually manually
Right.
code to
Yeah.
actually work.
Yeah. To be honest with you, like email stuff can get ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best place to start because it has a lot of quirks to it, but
Yeah.
that's,
I mean, I kind of just got thrown in the jungle, so I mean, I gotta do it.
That's cool, man. Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Keep us updated. And, that's awesome. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna sign off, guys. And any questions, just shoot them in the Slack. And just remember, please, guys, next week we'll do our best. We got to go swift because that's our last class for this round. We want to complete this website.
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Have a great
Have a
night.
good night.
All right, Sam. Thanks for hanging in there. I know you're sick. Feel better. All right. Take care.
All right. Good night,
Have
everyone.
a good one. Good night.